parts. But stay tuned. Like I said on my previous audio, my resolution for 2024 is to figure out how to research and find the information to leverage these businesses and corporations' success to improve my financial security and the financial security of my Negro community. I did not stutter when I said that. My priority is to improve my financial security and the financial security of my Negro community. I do not identify with any of these other terms. And for those of you who are bothered by my perspective and my words, then we can part ways. I really don't give a darn. We can part ways like we never cross paths. So folks, just take care. Do everything in your power to stay out of harm's way and keep safe and well. I hope we'll have a chance to chat more in the future in this coming 2024 year. Thank you. Thank you kindly for taking the time to listen. Keep safe. Hello, folks. Excuse me. I hope everything came across clear and loud and clear. If not, I will stay at it until I get it right. I will be back regularly to make these live broadcasts because we have a lot of minions running around here preaching. I mean, they have taken up a new profession. They are running around here preaching to the melanated persons who claim they are descendants of Negro slaves, but we have quite a few persons running around here preaching and telling our people to go vote. And I don't understand why they're doing that. Unless it's self-serving, unless they are getting a brain dead. It could be many different reasons, but I need persons who get a chance to hear this audio. I don't want to try to convince anyone of anything. I just want each person, hopefully, to have a chance to sit down and think for themselves and not allow anyone else to think for you and tell you what you should be doing. You should not be listening to anyone tell you that you have to vote. Because if persons and people believe that our vote is so valuable for this election, 2024, and this is something that rarely comes around. I mean, in your lifetime, if you're lucky, there's rarely an election that carries so much weight and so much precedence that it could change the future for decades to come. Well, those of us who may live to see November the 5th, 2024, we will have that opportunity to have lived during that time. But let it be known, I'm going to recommend again that any of you who have not listened to the audiobook titled The System, Who Rigged It and How Do We Fix It? And you can find that audio on Amazon. Just do a search for THE System, SYSTEM. Who rigged it and how do we fix it? And you should be able to find that audiobook. And it's not a very long audiobook. I think it was about a little over 9 hours. And they clearly spelled out the evil of the Democratic and the Republican Party. And it clearly explained for any person that have a brain in their head and can do critical evaluation that any persons who do not have the kind of money that Bank of America have or JP Morgan, and you do not know your numbers, you are at a disadvantage. And each person who is an adult have the ability to make that critical evaluation and say, I do not have nowhere near the kind of money of Bank of America. I have nowhere near the kind of money of JP Morgan. And my community do not know their numbers. They do not know they have 100 persons in North Carolina who all understand how to vote as a voting block. They do not know if they have 100 persons in Georgia who know how each person is going to vote and that they understand who they are voting for and why they are voting for that person. And they understand that when they walk into that booth, they are voting as a voting block, not as an individual. If that education had been explained clear enough for any person that is being told to vote, then you are lying to that person. And whoever is telling you to go vote, and they are not telling you to click a link to a website where you can read up about these different politicians and make your own critical evaluation as to whether or not you want to take the time to go cast a vote or not. If those individuals who are spending all this energy and time standing before you or on an audio app preaching to you to tell you to go vote, the next question or the next words out of their mouth should be, you can click such and such link and learn about each candidate in all 50 states. And you can also see the number count that we have collected and organized to know our numbers in all 50 states. If they are not giving you that information at the same time they are preaching to you to go vote, then your response to them should be, tell that person to have a good day, and you move in the opposite direction, because them telling you to vote is not going to put food on the table. Them asking you to go vote is not going to keep a roof over millions of persons' head, because, like I stated from my audio, the Republicans wanted to cut 38% of all government programs in 2016. But a backroom deal was made between the Republicans and the Democrats where they decided to cut only 16 to 18%, if I remember correctly. And those have already went into effect as we speak. Those cuts that they put into effect that should have been in a ballpark of about 16% to 18% have already went into effect. So the Republicans, although they are doing a good job of making sure that folks are distracted by the immigration crisis, and without a doubt, that's a serious crisis. But those Republicans need the Negro community's vote to push the scale in their favor. And once they get that vote from you, they're going to go right back to their plan that they did not get done in 2016. They are going to return to that plan to cut government programs as much as humanly possible. While they are going to make sure that some immigrants get deported, but they are not going to make sure that enough immigrants get deported that will affect a person's life who live in the hood, the ghetto, the projects, or to impact our public schools, to impact the job loss, to impact the loans that Joe Biden has put into effect, that no bank can turn down a immigrant loan application. So all of these policies and executive orders that Joe Biden put in place, I don't know how long it would take to overturn them, or if they can be overturned. So while you folks are being played like a fiddle and played for a fool to get your vote and get you clearly focused on voting for the other party to save, to fight against immigration, that is exactly what they want you to think about. They want to play you for a fool. Because if America, if either Republicans or Democrats, if you believe your vote really matters, then you will be threatening the 33 senators who are up for re-election in 2024. You will be threatening the 435 Congress seats that are up for re-election. And you will be sending a clear message that if they do not deliver Special Field Order 15 and contact IRS to set up direct cash payments before June of 2024, then they are playing you for a fool. And you will be committing suicide for yourself and your kids and your grandkids. And you can tell yourself any lie you want. But if you have the ball in your court and you don't get something before that election day, you have no one to blame but yourself. I'm going to say that again. For each and every one of you persons who are planning on voting, if you don't get something concrete delivered for your community and your individual self and your individual family that is tangible, that will have an immediate or very quickly impact on your life and your family's life and your community's life in a short amount of time, then you are committing suicide. Because if you believe what you're telling yourself, then the senators and the congressperson, they should be passing executive orders to give Negroes their justice. They should be delivering tangibles the same way they have been delivering tangibles for the last 3 years that Biden been in office, and for all the other presidents. If they have had 50 years to do this. 50 years. And you electing new persons is not going to magically change that. And why would you lie to yourself and inflict this harm onto yourself and your kids and grandkids? Because it's quite simple. You've been getting nothing for 50 years. You have a slim chance of forcing to receive something if you send a serious threat that you would not go out and vote. You have a better chance, better odds to get something with that message than you do to be telling your enemy that you plan to vote for either side. What common sense does that make? Please, would somebody explain that to me? If each of you persons who are planning to vote, really believe your vote is going to count, then you should be getting something before you cast that vote on the 5th of November. If you truly believe that your vote is going to make a difference, then Joe Biden and the 100 persons in the Senate and the 435 persons in the Congress should already have a bill on the floor. They should have had it there a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But they have another deadline. And that deadline is June of 2020.
On society. I'm not going to sit up here and deny that.
I don't believe that Republicans or the Democrats are going to deliver, and they can put 3 Trumps back into that office. Trump is going to make sure that his people are taken care of. Now, if the rest of society get a few crumbs, so be it. But Trump, when he look in the mirror, he most certainly know what color his skin is. And that is who he is going to side with when the chips are down. When the door is closed and no one can hear what is going on behind that closed door, Trump is going to always side with his people. Now he will tell you, and he can say out of his mouth anything that he chooses to say, and you can choose to believe it or not. But my common sense tells me simple: if the 100 senators and the 435 congresspersons have not forced the president to sign an executive order like they have done for all these other groups, Joe Biden has given out 3 reparations to 3 separate groups: Asians, Latinos, and Mexicans, and LGBTQ. That's 3 separate groups, while everyone is running around here claiming that they don't have the money to pay the debt that's owed to the Negro ancestors' justice claim and their descendants. While they have all the money in the world to send around the world, they refuse to pay a debt that's owed. But they have got you persons believing that they are going to do something about these immigrations. I don't know how they are able to do that. But where I stand, I am witnessing suicide in slow motion. And I'm just going to sit back and observe and see how far this suicide mission is going to go. That is what I'm going to do because I am just one person. Only thing I can do is step back and observe and see how far this suicide mission is going to go. How long and how far and how deep this suicide mission is going to unfold. Because I know there are common sense and intelligent persons who clearly know
they have placed you on the African continent somewhere in a racial group. Now, anyone that chooses to do,
they clearly know that there are 100 senators and 435 congresspersons that are currently sitting in their seat. And if they cared about passing anything for Negro descendants, it would have already been passed. But there's one ace in the hole card that you still have to play. And that ace card that you have to play is to send them a very clear message that you will not go out and vote if you do not get something before the election. It's very simple. The same way they have given out policies and executive orders to all of these other groups, it's the same way they can sit down and sign executive order for Special Field Order 15. The same way they can sit down and sign executive order for IRS direct cash payments. And that can be done in a short amount of time. And they can end the circus of these task force because those of us who are thinkers clearly have evaluated that those task force are nothing but delay tactics. They are nothing but a circus. They are nothing but an easy paycheck for select few. So for all of you persons who are running around here telling persons to go vote, you are going to have blood on your hands and you're going to have blood on your conscience if you do not force America to deliver Special Field Order 15 and direct IRS cash payments by June. If you are not using your platform to pressure America to do that, then you will be guilty of not using your time and your platform to apply enough pressure to get that message across. Because this should be a very, very simple message that if the Republicans and the Democrats do not pass those two executive orders, then they can roll the dice if they care to take that chance. But my God, for all of you persons who are getting these bags of money to be out front telling persons to vote, you okay either way. You already, whether persons come out to vote or not, you still going to be collecting that bag of money up until the final day. Both of these camps are going to continue to pay you to try to convince persons to go out to vote. So you're going to be fine either way. But I can guarantee you, I'm willing to bet my life on it. And I don't think I've ever said that. I'm willing to bet my life that enough people are going to stay home if America does not sign executive order to re-implement Special Field Order 15 and to contact IRS to set up direct cash payments by June. No, before June, but no later than June of 2024. If America does not get that done, it's going to be a sad night on November the 5th, on the 5th for November. But my gut also tells me this country is going to be on fire before then. Just something that's been gnawing at me for well over a year. That this country is going to be on fire before the election night. But if by the grace of God, this country make it to the 5th of November, I don't think they will. But if they do, this country is going to be on fire. And America is going to be punished if they do not pay the debt. The Negro ancestors and their descendants. It's very simple. They got all the money in the world to pay for this invasion, for all of these wars, and for everything in between. And God is not going to stand by and watch his people suffer much longer. So America has a decision to make. They need to have a come to Jesus moment and pay that debt. And for each of you persons who are helping America by telling persons to go vote, you are going to be repaid. And your judgment day is going to come. You are going to be judged and held accountable for those actions that you're taking, to be using your voice and your time to encourage individuals to go out and vote when America is making it very clear, Joe Biden especially, has never misses an opportunity to spit in Negro's face. So it's not any confusion there. Joe Biden has made it clear that he take every opportunity that he get to spit into the face of every Negro descendant. And I think this man is angry because ever since he made that statement that you are not BLACK if you don't vote for him, he just can't stop committing suicide. Ever since those words came out of his mouth, he's been committing suicide, and he's going to get his just due. Joe Biden, before he leave this world, is going to get his just due. That is a guarantee. So, my purpose in doing these lives is to allow individual persons to let their voice be heard and not to allow other persons to think they can speak for them. So that is why I will devote a certain amount of time to do these lives so folks can get the message that they need to be paying attention and not allow strangers or any Tom, Dick, and Harry that think they have the right to speak for millions of persons to speak for those persons. If enough persons come to a consensus that they want to vote for the Republican, and that is what those persons have decided, then that is what is the outcome. If a consensus decide they want to vote for the Democrats, that is the outcome. But for persons to run around here preaching these lies to persons and stringing them along and giving them false hope, that's a whole different story. And that is why I am going to take time to do these broadcasts so that I hope and trust and pray that persons will have a chance to hear the audios that I post, and they will be aware of what is taking place, and they can make a decision for themselves. Do they want to vote or do they not want to vote? That they will hopefully have enough time to do their own research or to listen to other persons who have done the research and get a better understanding of whether or not they want to vote. That is their personal choice. So I'm going to end right there, and I hope each and everyone do everything in their power to stay safe and out of harm's way, and that you have a chance to sit down with your family members and loved ones and have that heart-to-heart talk and explain that we are in an environment that is very hostile, and it's very important to stay alert of the environment when you're out and about and the people in that environment at all times. And with the grace of God, I pray that we each will have a chance to live out our days the way it's meant to be. So thank you for taking the time to listen, and take care.